Hello guys and welcome to my channel, and as usual today we are going to play some chess. And if you compare my elo to the yesterday's video, I did lose a bunch, but I played many English games because I started playing the English to kind of learn the opening, because English is kind of a positional opening. So if you spend a lot of time sorry, if you spend a lot of time in the opening, right, and you don't really know the moves, you're going to get behind on time, and then you're going to lose the endgame, because the games with English are pretty long. So here I feel I can just develop my knight, or I could develop my bishop first, and then develop my knight, but then he can just push me around with his pawns, right? So I'm just going to put out my knight, maybe push this pawn after something like e8. This looks this looks fine. Maybe I will put my bishop on d7, b7. b7 looks nice because it looks at the castle, or as we can see, my opponent is going to castle queenside, but now I can develop my bishop here. But beforehand, I want to meet this move with h5 to stop kind of the attack. Temporarily, you cannot push because then I will just take. This does nothing. I can take some space in the center. I can pin this knight. Yeah, let's pin this knight. Maybe he'll trade, but it's a bad trade. Yeah, so he has gotten a lot, really aggressive. For some reason, I don't think I'm in danger yet. He did unpin his knight, so after takes. I am fine. I have this very strong knight, but then maybe he will push around me with his pawns. But I don't really see anything wrong with this move. I am kind of pinning my knight. And that's the kind of stuff I only notice after I play the move, right? So I play, and then I'm like, oh no, I pinned my knight. And in this position, it's not so terrible, but oh my god. Yeah, that was pretty bad, but I guess I can attack his queen with a tempo. So he might have miscalculated here, because after I attack him here, he might take on this square, but then I take his bishop. And overall, I'm up 1 point of material, and my king... No, because there is this capture chain. Oh, that's so annoying. But why would he take here? That's the question. I don't know. Takes... I can still retake this knight. I cannot capture back with this knight, but I guess I will take with the bishop. Wait a minute, what? Okay, yeah. I couldn't have taken the queen. Probably take the bishop, and after takes, and I push my pawn. No, because then he wins my queen with a check. So what I'm thinking right now... No, but I cannot block like this, so... But I think taking is the thing, and... this is the move that I should play, and then after takes, I should definitely block the pawn with my queen, so it will not advance forward, and just give up this pawn here. Move my knight after he takes it, and... And I should be fine. Only down a pawn. But I guess I can create some sort of counterplay. Also, I have this really nice pawn structure. So he goes out with his knight. Maybe looking forward to I'm fumbling, it's really early in the morning. Because I have to pre-record like 3 more videos, but whatever. If he takes, it's fine, because now he just gave me time to protect this pawn. So this is like no biggie. I can take. His king isn't castled yet, and I assume he's going to castle queenside. Right, so maybe he'll try to open up my position like this, so this pawn is actually kind of useful. And then he won't be able to use this diagonal. I was also thinking to play my rook here and try to create some sort of counterplay, but I can still do that later on in the game. I mean, here if he's not going to take, then... Wait a minute, actually... If he takes and I take, then he can actually push this pawn. But it doesn't really give him anything. I feel like he could have done something here. I feel like... I don't know, something more. I mean, only if I would have taken there. So... I might move my knight. And then create something there. Right, so... yeah, I can block here with my knight, like block this pawn from advancing. And then create some sort of counterplay here. If he castles here, then he's just bad, because... What is this? Right, and if he castles here, then I will win this pawn, and then this falls and this falls, so... It's fine. So I feel I might go for this. But after he pushes here, it's still okay. I want to get rid of this queen. She's really annoying, but firstly I will unpin myself, so there won't be any tricky stuff, and I can just move my knight. He cannot castle yet, because then I will take this free pawn. And then all of this will fall. I feel like my opponent missed this, and this is the perfect opportunity to infiltrate and take everything I can. Right, so here he probably has to protect this pawn. This is... I mean, that sort of works. I don't know. I can take this pawn. Right, and then after he pushes maybe. But I actually want a queen trade. I have to be careful to not get my queen trapped. Because this is kind of sketchy, but I don't think my queen will get trapped. Maybe go here with my knight. Yeah, so now he's trying to trap my queen, but then he has to attack me like this. Or maybe if he goes here with his knight, then is my queen trapped? I mean, she looks kind of trapped. But then I can move up here, and then it's really not a problem. So let me push this pawn, so he won't have this pawn break. And then maybe I'll try to open up the position myself. I mean, this is not a threat. Obviously, you cannot move this rook. And he moves his queen 1 square to repin me to this. Also, this pawn is up unprotected, so I might just target that. But this knight is there, right? So now I'm thinking, why not actually go here and try to trade off the queens? Because if I take this with a check and he takes, then I'm also forking this rook and this pawn. So he kind of has to protect it, and the only way he can protect it is by moving his rook. Because his knight cannot get there, this rook is not going to cut it, and this queen is already defending the pawn, so it makes sense. Also, what are the moves that my opponent can't... What? I guess he's going to take here and maybe try to push this pawn, but I feel like this is still fine. He might have misclicked. Because I am winning this pawn and I'm also attacking his rook at the same time. And this pawn isn't weak, because if this pawn would have been like forward, then that move would have made sense, because then you're kind of taking everything, but now I don't think I'm that terrible. You know? I mean, he might give me some checks, but overall I don't think I'm bad. Here I have to move down here to not get hit like this, and then like this discovered attacks. I must take this pawn. Actually, I thought my position would be a lot better than it is now. I don't know, I have this post pawn. And I'm just straight up 2 pawns. I don't know. Maybe I will have to block off the position like this with my knight. I actually like this move, because after I go here, and he will obviously stack his rook on this file. I don't know if you call this file, but rank, right? He will try to stack his rook on this rank, and then after I go down here, his rook cannot retrieve anymore. It is protected by this pawn, so he cannot retake. And I'm actually controlling both of those squares. So he can't really check me. I mean, he might trade off the rooks. But then I guess I could push this pawn. I mean, I'm going to push this pawn either way. The e-pawn to try and promote with my knight, so his king won't be able to block off my pawn by itself, and his knight won't be able to move, because then I will take on here. I guess he could like take. I push and then he goes here. But he also can't get in front of the pawn because of my knight. And now we are equal on time. Right, so he goes for this. I guess I cannot push because of this knight. But I might just take this pawn. Because what is he going to do? Is he going to push? Actually, after he pushes and he goes here, and then I would have to play this. But the thing is, if I take now, right? So he must play this if he wants to... No, what am I saying? I would just take the rook. I don't know. So I guess this is winning because I have 2 post pawns. This is kind of weak. Right. I guess I might try to push this pawn. Because if he goes and eats all of my pawns, those B and A pawn aren't as fast. So I will be a lot quicker, and if you take, then I retake and protect this pawn. So he might just go for taking this pawn and then trying to take here, but then I will just simply push. And hopefully win the game. I have to be careful about him pushing. Because then this is kind of dangerous. Probably from up here. I don't know, I will push here. And if he pushes, then I will go here to cover this square so this rook won't be able to get there in time. So let's move my knight to protect this pawn. And I feel like his best move is to go here because I'm actually trying to put my knight here. Target his pawn. And also protect the square. I don't know. This is weird and I don't have any time. I guess he cannot... I guess I will go for this pawn because he can't really go on and promote this one. You know what I mean? My knight is protecting two of those squares, which are kind of important because then he can like go push, here check, takes, and promotes, right? So he pushes the second pawn. And here I might just start pushing this one. I honestly don't know who wins the race. Maybe I'll go for something like this. Oh my god. But now if I retrieve my rook and he takes, after pushing this pawn, taking would end up with me taking this and getting a protected pass pawn. Right? I mean, this makes sense. I hope I didn't blunder anything. My knight is still very strong, so... I mean, those pawns are kind of slow. And he's down a lot on time. I mean, this... Probably. Yeah, right here. And then I'm threatening to check. And I guess he might block it to try and control both of those squares. Now, why would he go there? This is a check. Oh my god, he fumbled. Because now I gain the tempo because of my check. And this is simply winning. I mean, there's no way I fumbled this endgame, like... This is a pin. He gives me a check. So I should try and hide here. Because his knight cannot move either way. Now you don't have enough time to go here and try to take this. Because I will just recapture, right? Okay, this is actually a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. To be honest. Like, completely honest. But I will win on time. Yeah, my opponent is just too slow. This was a nice game. I feel like I had a lot of control over what happened. And I feel like I analyzed a lot more. And overall, I'm proud of myself. And this has been your daily chess video. And and I will hopefully see you tomorrow.